citing affordability issues, NAR reported that contract signings were down. Hello, guy. Citing affordability issues, NAR reported that contract signings were down in all 4 regions of the United States of America. And pending sales also declined 8.5% year over year. You know, pending home sales is a leading indicator of the housing market. It's the leading indicator of a lot of things in the market, as a matter of fact. So the pending home sales are sliding, and they slipped to an index of 70.2 in July of this year. And that's 70 out of 100 in the indices. And that's the lowest reading that we've had since they started recording these indices back as far back as 2001. So the indices has never been this low. Now that should tell you something, right? At least I think so. But I'm not sweating it. Truth be told, I would like to see home prices improve, and sliding sales are certainly one way to get there. You know, I've got a secret. A secret the media doesn't want to say out loud, nor our government. We are in a recession. We really are. They just don't want to admit it, because it's a bad look for the government, and it's an election year. And you know, while I take much of what I read within a super large dose of salt, I did read this article, and it made me both chuckle and cry at the same time. Florida, where Americans really want to live. That's the part that made me cry. Americans value sunshine, safety, and affordability, a new study shows. Of course, Florida tops the list of most desirable states to live. Really? Now, this is interesting. Many Americans seem to have contradictory or confused feelings about places they call home. Okay? They have some confusion about a few other things in this nation as well. Although 73% of Americans say they like where they live, 59% of Americans still get frustrated with their home city or state, and 43% are embarrassed. Okay, so 1,000 Americans were surveyed and asked where they do and don't want to live. Nearly 6 in 10 live where they've always lived. Yeah, I kind of fall into that category. However, approximately 84% of respondents said they could be convinced to move to another city or state. Many Americans want to pursue a better life elsewhere, but 50% say they can't afford to move to a desirable location. And that's because nothing is affordable anymore. Now, this next part of the article is pretty interesting. I actually touched on this in a previous video. Where do Americans dream of moving? The answer is pretty simple. When asked what makes a place desirable, 68% of Americans cite low crime. Yeah, nobody wants to deal with crime, and we got a lot of it nowadays. 66% say affordable living and housing costs. We don't have that anywhere either. 62% desire good weather. Check, we have that here. And 52% want lower taxes. Don't we all? Those preferences were also consistent in reverse. When asked what makes places undesirable, 73% said high crime, 65% complain about the cost of living, 62% complain about high taxes, and 54% cite bad weather or pollution. With Americans wanting to live someplace affordable, sunny, and safe, it's not surprising that Tampa, Florida popped up on the radar as one of the most desirable cities in America. You know, the truth be told, Florida's a nice place to live, but it doesn't check all the boxes on that list. Warm weather? Check. Sunshine? Check. Safety? Check, at least for now. Affordability? Not anymore. And low taxes? Nope. Don't have that one either. At least not low property taxes. We don't have state income tax. And the cost of living, well, it has gone up here in Florida, and we are above the national average when it comes to cost of living. But interestingly enough, the Sunshine State is home to 1/4 of the 10 most desirable large metros in the country. And apparently, the people surveyed, 1/3 of the respondents ranked Florida among their top 5 state choices as a place to live, and California being number 2. The two states have obviously similarities with, at least sunshine and pleasant weather. Other cities in the top 5 were Texas, Hawaii, and New York. They rounded up the top 5. And there you have it. Another useless article written by a publication that apparently wants to try to sell homes in Florida. And as I mentioned earlier, with every article I read, I take it with a large grain of salt. There's a lot of spin on some of these articles. Oh, and you're saying, she sounds so cynical. But I'm a realist. Yes, I'm just not your average realtor. I call it like I see it. And the way things are going right now, they're making things much harder for people to own homes and own cars. I mean, like, let's take, for instance, that Inflation Reduction Act, which has absolutely zero to do with inflation and absolutely doesn't cause any reduction of inflation. It's a fake name. It's the Green New Deal. And designed to make housing unaffordable for you. And cars. I mean, why do you think your home insurance is so high? You ever ask yourself, why is home insurance so high? You ever ask yourself, why is it $250 a month to insure my car? Well, if you can't afford to insure a car, or buy a car, or put gas in a car, same goes for a house, you won't own one. You will own nothing and be happy. Okay, my friends, just another thought-provoking video to get your wheels turning or your blood pressure up, whichever it does. And don't forget, if you got something out of this video or you liked it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, come back and see me again. Take care.